Today's lesson is going to be on transformers, and I'm going to teach you a little bit about our power grid as well. So let's start with the power grid. With the power grid, we have some sort of power plants generating electricity. How they generate electricity is mostly the same for all of them except for solar panels, is they all have to spin a turbine. You can have wind power spin a turbine, you can have tidal power, any type of power you can think of to spin a turbine. Nuclear power, the same. Fossil fuels, the same. Both of them simply use their energy to heat water to steam. Then they put steam on under pressure and they use that and spin the turbine. A turbine is just coils. Right? So we talked about solenoids inside of a magnetic field that spin, which produce electricity in the coil. Any type of changing magnetic field will produce electricity, and changing electric field produces magnetism. Right? They're two sides of the same coin. Now, if you want to change the magnetic field, you don't have to have the magnetic field constantly changing. If you spin the coil inside the magnetic field, from the coil's point of view, the magnetic field is changing. So that's how you produce electricity. Then comes the problem with actually sending electricity through long distances of power lines which eventually come to your home. Now the goal is to have the least amount of energy lost in sending electricity long distances. A long time ago there was a current wars between Thomas Edison and his DC power, remember DC is direct current, and Nikola Tesla and his AC power, which is alternating current. In the end, Nikola Tesla won because of this one fact. Alternating current can be easily sent over long distances without using a lot of energy. Direct current can't. And I'm going to explain why using the idea of transformers. Alright, so what is a transformers? I have two pictures of transformers over here. So Faraday came up with the first one, and so originally it was called a Faraday ring, but these images obviously aren't a ring. Faraday's was. It was large and circular. These are squares. Doesn't matter the shape. So here we have a primary coil, and this is hooked up to some sort of power source. And it has to be an AC power source. And this is why. Right? With an AC power source, it's sort of vibrating. And that sort of supplies a changing current. A direct current is constant, not changing. And so you don't produce that magnetic field. You want that magnetic field produced in your coil. Right? So that magnetic field will go through your second coil. Right? And as that magnetic field is changing due to a changing power supply in the electric field, you produce a secondary current in the secondary coil. Now notice the coil has different number of loops. That's the purpose of a transformer, right? To actually transform the voltage. A step-up transformer would increase the voltage, and a step-down transformer would decrease the voltage. So here I have this equation here. Don't worry about the current yet, but for now, if this is Vp, so that stands for voltage in the primary coil, divided by Vs, which is the voltage in the secondary coil, is equal to N. N is the number of loops in the primary coil, and Ns the number of loops in the secondary coil. So what this means is, if we increase the number of loops in the secondary coil, we increase the voltage. Right? If you double the amount of loops, you double the voltage. So if you start with 120 volts and use a step-up transformer with double the amount of loops in your coil, you'll end up with 240 volts. That's a step-up transformer. You can do the opposite, like this. This would be a step-down transformer, where we have a certain number of loops, and then we reduce the number of loops in the secondary coil. That's a step-down transformer. Okay, well, what happens to current? So I'm going to write some things down here. Remember that energy always has to be conserved. So what does that mean? That means the energy that goes through our primary coil must be equal to the energy that goes through the secondary coil. Conservation of energy. Now power, if you remember, is a change in energy over time. So if we rearrange for energy, this is the same as writing the power through the primary coil times some time equals the power through the secondary coil times some time. Right? But this is an interaction with each other, so the time is going to be the same. And so the power through the primary coil must be equal to the power through the secondary coil. Again, stemming from conservation of energy. Okay, and if you remember, the power through an electrical circuit is voltage times current. So this means the voltage times the current in the primary coil must always be equal to the voltage times the current in the secondary coil. Like so. Again, coming from or stemming from conservation of energy. And if I just rearrange these, right, I can rearrange to get this same ratio we have up here. So Vp over Vs. And this is going to be the opposite. It's going to be Is over Ip. Just rearranging that equation. So what does that mean? That means due to conservation of energy, in a step-up transformer where your voltage increases, your current must decrease. And the opposite, in a step-down transformer where your voltage decreases due to conservation of energy, your current must increase. And this is the key to sending electricity long distances without losing much energy. Resistance, or how much heat you produce in a wire, depends on how much current is in that wire. If you have a very, very tiny amount of current, then you have very little resistance, very little heat produced, and therefore very little loss of energy. So the goal then is to create a very, very tiny amount of current when we send it long distances from the power plant to your home. So to do that, we use a step-up transformer, and we increase the voltage to things like 700,000 volts. That's why you've probably seen on the side of the road some of these transformers in different locations. This is like warning high voltage, right? Places like that. Now, when we increase the voltage that much, the current becomes incredibly tiny. And then we can send it long distances with very little loss of energy. But then when it comes to your home, you obviously do not want 700,000 volts going through your home. So now we need a step-down transformer inside of communities. Those are the ones you've probably seen, right? And once we decrease the voltage to, say, 120 or 240 volts to be able to enter your home, the current will also increase due to conservation of energy. All right, so let's try this example problem then with a transformer. This one says, determine the input power. So we want to know the input, so that's our primary power, and primary voltage, so we want to know Vp as well, of a transformer that has 300 turns of wire in the secondary coil. So that's Ns. That's how many turns as in the secondary. And 450 in the primary coil. So that's Np. The secondary voltage is 66 volts, so that's Vs. And the secondary current has 2.5 amps, so that is Is. So looking at this, it says, is this a step up or a step down transformer? That we can answer right away. Let's look at the number of turns. So in our secondary coil, we have 300 turns. Let's separate this. So primary, I can spell primary, and then secondary. So in our primary, we have 300, secondary, we have 300 turns. And in the primary, we have 450 turns. So that means we're reducing the amount of turns. So that is if you reduce the number of turns, you reduce the voltage, so that is a step down transformer. So that's what we have. We have a step down transformer. Okay, so what does it want to know? It wants to know primary voltage. So we don't know primary voltage, and it's asking for primary voltage. We do know secondary voltage, that's 66 volts. So what we can do then is use that ratio equation from the first page, where it says primary voltage divided by secondary, which is 66 volts, must equal the number of turns in your primary coil, so 450, divided by the number of turns in your secondary coil, so 300. So if we rearrange that, so just divide both sides by 66, we'll get the primary voltage to be 99 volts. So again, demonstrating this is a step down transformer. You're going from 99 volts to 66 volts. Now, last thing we have to solve for is the input power. Okay, so the primary power. To figure out what the primary power is, you would take the primary voltage and multiply by the secondary voltage. So we know what the primary voltage is now. We just solved for that. It's 99 volts. But in the question, they only tell us the secondary current. So we only know that this one is 2.5 amps. All right, so to figure out primary power, you can do voltage times current for your primary source. And to do that, you could use our ratio equations to first figure out what the primary current is. So you can make it a two-step problem there. Or you can actually make this a one-step problem if you remember energy is conserved, meaning the power through the secondary coil must be the same as the power through the primary coil. And we already know the voltage and the current through the secondary coil. So we can easily calculate in one step what that power is. And knowing that it must be the same as in the primary one, then we're all good. So the primary power, due to energy conservation, will be equal to the secondary power, which is voltage times current for the secondary coil, which is 66 volts, times by 2.5 amps. And you get a power of 165. And remember the units for power, watts. So if you wanted to do it the two-step way, which is not wrong, that's fine. It just takes a little bit of extra time. You first need to solve for primary current. So to do that, we're going to use the ratio. You can use whichever ratio you want because we know both voltages and we know both turns. I'll use the turns ones. So we have the number of turns in our primary coil divided by the number of turns in the secondary coil equals the current through the secondary over the current through the primary. So here we have 450 turns divided by 300. The current in the secondary is 2.5 amps divided by the current in the primary. So now we'll just rearrange and solve for that. So I primary will equal 300. That's a terrible 3. Here we go. 300. Still a terrible 3, but all right. Times by 2.5, that's amps. Divided by 400. So we get 1.875 amps. And then you can use your power equation for your primary, which would be your primary voltage, which is 99 volts, times your primary current, which is 1.875 amps. And okay, yeah, so I got 185 watts. That doesn't mean energy is, conservation of energy is wrong. It's just because I accidentally put 400 instead of 450 turns. So let's just fix that. So 450, which is, 1.666666, but just to be accurate, we'll do 5/3 of an amp. And so we'll just replace this with 5/3. And exactly 165. So we're good now. But it's always good to look at your answer and say, does this make sense? No, energy is not being conserved. Let's fix that.